Paige, what if there was a mantra that you've been repeating for your whole life without even knowing it?
One you didn't choose, one you didn't learn.
One that lived inside every single breath.
Every inhale, so. Every exhale, hum.
And when you reverse it, Haṃsa, it means the swan, the one who moves between the worlds without getting caught.
So we're not learning anything new today.
We're listening to something that's already happening. So, Haṃsa.
Welcome back.
I've practiced yoga consistently for over 10 years now. And I know that the most important part of building consistency is community. Other people to hold you accountable. And second to that is a solid practice plan to help you experience the true benefits of the practice. And this is exactly why I created the OmSom App. It's a free study tool to help you learn the Sanskrit and the philosophy of yoga. Plus, it's the home to our online community, which we call Sadhana Sangha. Every single month, the team and I offer 5 practices, and I guide you through an Asana workshop as well as a subtle technique, and we translate a few lines of the Yoga Sūtra together. It's honestly been my dream to create this app since I started teaching, because this is what I truly needed when I started practicing. So check it out in the show notes, or just search OmSom in the App Store. That's OmSom. Now, back to the episode. Namaste. Welcome to the OmSom Yoga and Ayurveda podcast. My name is Aaron Petty. I am a yoga teacher, yoga therapist, and a teacher trainer. But above all, I am a student of yoga. I love yoga. And what do you love? And what's your name?
Paige Taylor.
Hi, Paige.
I'm a yoga teacher, Ayurvedic practitioner, co-founder of OmSom, yoga teacher trainer, and lover of all of this knowledge too. We love chatting about all things yoga and Ayurveda, and that's why we are here.
That's why we're here. And this month it is, what month? May?
May. Right at the
end of May. We're hitting the end of May. And that means that we're wrapping up our exploration of the space element,
Yes.
the Akash Tattva.
Mm-hmm.
Something we've been exploring in practice in our online community, and something that we've been exploring here on the podcast together.
Yep.
We've moved this year through a lot of different ideas.
It's true. I feel like this year, especially just with the elements, we've been really trying to hit a few different things in those elements. Like, although we're exploring the elements, we're just hitting like a few different experiences of them.
Associations with them.
I think it's been a very interesting way to explore them, and hopefully it's been very interesting for you guys as listeners.
Oh, well, that's all we can hope. Otherwise, there's no point us making a podcast. We could just have a chat and a cup of tea.
Without all the cameras and the lights and the mics and editing.
Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. When we retire.
When we retire. Okay, so because of that, we are exploring then something today, which is a mantra.
Yes.
And we spoke last week about shunya, the void, and we spoke about this emptiness. But sometimes the mind needs something to grasp to.
It can be very helpful, especially in the beginnings of your yoga and meditation journey.
Exactly. So before the mind goes quiet, we have to focus the mind on something.
Yes.
And that is a beneficial practice. And one of the most potent things that's gifted to us through the yoga tradition is the object of mantra.
It's true.
Which is a sound of some kind, a vibrational sound that we can then tune our mind to as an object of concentration that leads us towards some deeper inner experience. Now, one of the first mantras that a lot of people come into contact with is this mantra, So Hum. So Hum. Now, we also mentioned Haṃsa, which is So Hum reversed. Yeah. And so we want to explore both of those ideas today, the So Hum, the Haṃsa. What is the difference between those two? Yeah. Can we use them together? Do they have to be used separately? Do they have different meanings? That's what we're going to unpack together.
Right, sounds good.
But you know what the best way to do that is?
Understand the word. Etymology.
No, we're going to start with the story.
Sorry, we always start with the story. Story time.
Okay, then. Well, let's start with this idea of Haṃsa. Now, this story is about Haṃsa, the swan.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, in the mythology of India, there is this celestial swan called Haṃsa.
Okay.
And Haṃsa is said to have a very specific capability. And the actual symbol of the swan is very pertinent to this conversation. So the unique ability that this specific swan has is to be able to separate milk from water. When those two things are mixed together, the swan will only drink the milk. And he will glide across the water without it affecting him.
Okay.
So this I mean, it's not really even a story, but it's the mythology of this swan that teaches about viveka. And viveka is discernment, the ability to discern the milk from the water, or what is nourishment and what is unfulfilling.
Yeah.
And to only pick out the things which are nourishing and to let the rest glide off of us.
So interesting that water is unfulfilling in this analogy. Like, I understand that the milk is the nourishment, but it's just interesting.
You couldn't live forever off water.
Yeah, it's true.
You have to have some form of nourishment, some sustenance. And that's the discernment, right? This is nothing inherently bad about water.
No, it's true.
It's the thing that a lot of life thrives from.
Yeah.
But it's not everything. Just like we live our life in the world, but the world is not everything. There is a deeper nectar that we draw from yoga. Yeah. There is a deeper teaching within yoga. And that deeper teaching is Soham. So Haṃsa is this swan, and Soham means I am that, right? Which is kind of what we spoke about last week, which is the void.
Yeah.
I am that, meaning I am the emptiness. I am the vastness of the universe. Yeah. And Haṃsa, meaning I glide through the universe without letting the worldly troubles affect me.
And seeking out what nourishes me.
Exactly. And these two mantras are said by the scriptures to be something that never leaves us. Yeah. It's just something that we need to return to and remind ourselves of, because these sounds are the sounds of our breath. So a name for this mantra is the Ajapa Mantra. And japa means to repeat. Ajapa means it's not repeating, it's always there. It's something that we tune into. Similar to the void being something that is always there, but we tune into. Similar to yoga, which is always there, but we tune into. And I think it's one of these mantras that a lot of people get given to them in a yoga class randomly, but they never really understand the depth of. They never really understand the purpose of or the practice of. So we want to break that down today.
Yeah, sounds good.
And try and demystify the meaning of this mantra and the application of this mantra.
So maybe before we get into that, can you just give us like a really speedy overview of what mantra is? Like, define mantra and why we use it.
Okay, mantra. Man, mind. Tra, protecting. Protecting the mind. Protecting the mind from what? Mantra protects the mind from overthinking, because it asks you to just repeat one thought over and over and over. Like a closed loop. And by repeating the same thought over and over and over, hopefully the mind starts to settle enough that you can find the emptiness, the silence.
Makes sense.
That's what a mantra is in a practical sense. Yes. We could say it's many, many other different things. Vibration, energy, a gateway into meditation, a gateway into consciousness, manifestation of some specific energy, all those kinds of things. But in its essence, it's a tool that we use for the mind in yoga. And so there are many different mantras out there.
That's true.
Mahamrityunjaya mantra, the Gayatri mantra, the Purna mantra, all of these different mantras that we can learn.
We're actually going to explore these in the podcast and Sadhana Sangha next month.
Next month we're going to do this. We're going to look all at mantras.
Wow, that works in so nicely with this last one.
It's a little segue. It's almost like I planned these things.
It's like we planned these things. I'm like, whoa, I can't believe we did that.
The segues.
No, it's always a nice, happy coincidence.
So, hum. I almost used a filler word, but I just fixed it with a mantra. Okay, so hum, when we break it down, it comes from sa, which means that.
Okay.
And aham means I am. I am that. Aham prema means I'm love. Right? Aham brahmasmi means I'm the infinite. Aham is I am. Sa is that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tapping the table. Hopefully that
tapping
wasn't
the
too noisy.
table.
Tippity tippity tap.
I get my lecture before we start now. Don't you tap the table, and then Aaron's just tapping it nonstop.
So hum,
Yes.
what does it mean?
I am that.
I am and thatness.
Mm.
Cool. Okay. Now, Haṃsa, if you flip that around, it just means a swan. The
Or a
swan.
gander. Yeah.
The celestial swan. It's not just any swan, but it's a swan.
Do you know if it has any relation to like the Haṃsa hand?
I don't know.
Haṃsa. You know
Haṃsa.
that? Haṃsa. Haṃsa. You know that hand, that symbol? It's got a Haṃsa hand.
Okay. I don't know about this.
Do you know the symbol though I'm talking about? The very spiritual, it's like hanging on, I think the thing you've got at home, the little dangly thing. There's like a little...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the one,
Yeah,
but
that
I
one.
don't know the context.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, so maybe we should look that up later.
Okay, maybe we could look it up. We'll ask Selena to look it up and then tell us while she's watching this. Okay, so now what the texts say is that the breath naturally produces this sound. Just take a moment, let's breathe a little bit heavy, and we'll see if we can hear that sound in the breath. Inhale so, exhale hum.
It's true.
You got to listen for it. And that is the real teaching here. Is that this is not the physical sound of the breath.
Yeah.
And I know I just demonstrated the physical sound of the breath, and you might be thinking, well, I can't really hear it. Or maybe you convince yourself that you could hear it because I told you it was there. But it's not talking about the physical sound of the breath. It's talking about the subtle sound of the breath. That the breath reminds you that you are. The breath reminds you that you are having an experience. The breath settles the mind.
It does.
And by noticing something more subtle within the breath, we can move in the direction that yoga asks us to move, which is away from the physical and into the subtle.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
We move away from the physical breath and into the subtle breath.
I think, this is a very interesting concept. And I always really loved this mantra, Soham. I think it was one of those first kind of ones that resonated. But when I, heard this idea that Soham is just the sound of the breath, even on the physical level, I was like, it's just one of those moments where you're just like, it all makes sense. Like the yogis, they knew what they were talking about. Like a mantra that just mimics the sound of your breath. Groundbreaking.
It's almost like they studied these things for thousands of years.
Groundbreaking. Just listen to the sound of your breath. And I think like this has been something we've been exploring on this podcast several times, but this idea that we use the physical world and the physical tools, in this example, the breath, and the physical sound of the breath, even though that's kind of not the point, but we use it as a stepping stone to draw us into the subtle sound of the breath, to draw us into the silent mantra of Soham. That, these physical crutches are helpful for us in the beginning to just get a orientation about where we're working and what we're working with.
Yeah. And then we can go in. And we can understand with more discernment what is real and what is not real. We can separate those two things. What's nourishing and what's not nourishing. We can separate those two things. So, hum. I keep using so as my segue, but I catch myself. And then I'm going to add hum. Maybe that could be a practice. Yeah. This is I'm going to give you your takeaway practicals early today. And what I'm going to say is next time you catch yourself saying so to move into the next part of the conversation, just follow it up with hum.
So hum.
And then pause for a moment and see where the conversation actually wants to go.
I like that. And I like that as well because so is kind of like this anticipatory sound and words so, but then hum is like almost like an exhale, like it's like a sigh out, like hum.
It is an exhale.
Yeah. But it's nice because then if that is where you are in conversation, so you can just take a breath out and then reevaluate where you want to go.
You can just hum.
Yeah.
Presence, let it bring you back into presence and then move from there. Okay, so hum. You can always come back to this mantra because it's always there. And this is the thing, is it's every time you say so hum, you are not just saying so hum. Yeah. You are not just using your mind to create this object in order to concentrate, but you're just returning to something that's sitting in the background. It's always ticking away like the beating of your heart. Yeah. It is always there. It's something subtle. And we spoke about that even when we spoke about Hridayam, and that it's that experience of the present heart, right? And it's like Soham is the experience of the presence with the breath.
Love it.
Cool. Now, we use this for entering into spaciousness. And that's what our conversation really is about. And we're kind of wrapping it up, is this space element, right? This is another gateway into the space element.
Yeah.
When I am that, I'm not Aaron. When I am that, I'm not a yoga teacher. When I am that, I'm not on a podcast. When I'm that, I am that.
And that being the vastness of...
That's the vastness of the space.
Yeah.
That is the vastness of the universe. That is the endless void. That is the emptiness. That is the unknowable. That's what I am. So every time we come back to the breath, then we remind ourselves that we are the eternal, that we are the void, and that we are the spaciousness and the emptiness.
What a powerful reminder. You know, I think you're right. I think it's just one of those mantras that we can keep coming back to. It's a mantra that can anchor you in meditation, but it's also a mantra that can bring you back to, just presence when you're in moments of stress or turmoil or fatigue. That, when there's that overwhelming power of the mind that is kind of pulling you out of your current experience, this reminder of Soham, I am that. I am that I am.
You ready for the coolest textual reference ever?
Sure, let's do it.
We're going to go into the tantras.
Okay.
What are the tantras? Esoteric classical texts written as a conversation between two people.
Just like we're having here.
Just like we're having right here. Now, they speak specifically to Soham in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra.
Okay.
And this is what it says. The breath is exhaled with the sound ha, and inhaled again with the sound sa. Thus, the individual constantly repeats this mantra. Haṃsa, Haṃsa. Now listen to this. This is the japa of the Devi, the goddess, repeated 21,600 times during the day and night. It is easily available and difficult only to the ignorant. Now, this is the key line. Difficult to those who are ignorant, because Haṃsa means discernment. The swan represents the discernment. And if you're ignorant, then you do not have the ability to discern. You can't make those decisions for yourself. You're always guided by the world outside.
And so the mantra is difficult for you to grasp.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's impossible.
No.
It doesn't say don't do it. It'll just say it will be more difficult if you're ignorant.
And it's like it's still happening even with the breath.
Yeah.
But
it's more difficult to experience.
Experience, yeah.
Not difficult to find, just difficult to notice. Okay, then there is a small Upanishad. It's called the Haṃsa Upanishad.
Cool.
Now, it is dedicated entirely to this teaching. And it says the syllable hum arises on the inhalation and sa on the exhalation. This sound leads to knowledge of the self, which I think is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
It says the one who contemplates Haṃsa is freed from the cycle of birth and death, right? So it leads to the self and it frees you from samsara, frees you of your karma. It's very highly regarded. That's why there's an entire Upanishad written about it. Okay, next one. Shiva Samhita.
Yes.
Shiva Samhita is one of the 3 classical Hatha Yoga texts,
Okay.
well, the big canonical ones. In the Shiva Samhita, it says that Haṃsa is the soul residing in the body, the individual soul that is carried on the breath. And it says that by meditating on the sound of the breath, so Haṃsa, you realize the identity between the individual and the universal soul. It's that swan, Haṃsa, that carries you from the individual to the universal. So we get on the swan.
Yeah.
This is the big analogy here. And the big
Yeah.
thread from all of these teachings is get on the swan.
Yeah.
Be like Brahma.
Because Brahma rides this one.
Brahma rises the Haṃsa.
And this one helps us with discernment.
To determine or discern what is true and what is real.
Yeah.
Right? And the yogic teaching is the eternal is the only real thing.
Yeah. Like what we experience here in the material world, it's all not real.
Exactly. And those more esoteric or not non-dual, as we called them last week, teachings, they're a little harder to grasp.
Of course.
It's fair.
Of course.
I get it. But we keep moving on.
We keep giving it a go anyway.
Now, what I wanted to focus on here is that Soham and Haṃsa are moving in two directions.
Yeah.
Yeah? Soham says, I declare that I am the void.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Haṃsa says, I'm moving through this world, but I'm connected to the void.
Yeah.
And the things of the world don't affect me.
Yes.
One is the gateway out, one is the gateway in. Soham moves us in.
Okay, yes.
Haṃsa moves us out whilst being inwardly connected.
So it's almost like this idea of Haṃsa and the swan is kind of like this idea that we often speak about, me and you, and in our teachings, that, you know, we want to, as tantrikas, as householders, we want to touch the depths of our meditation and experience the essence of yoga as a state of awareness, anchor it back into our experience, and then glide through the world unaffected by the world, but anchored into truth, anchored into that discernment that is yoga.
Yeah. Soham is coming in.
So it's
declaring that I am the void.
So it's almost like Soham is like yoga. It's like the path of renunciation, the path of moving and transcending the body and moving in. And Haṃsa is almost the path of the tantrika. That's like, we can have all of that and touch it, but let's glide through the world with ease.
Now we're starting to get it.
Interesting.
That's it. They're the same teaching.
Yeah.
It's the same mantra. It's just reversed, right? You can go in the door.
Yeah.
You can go out the door.
Yeah. And you can choose to go in and out at any different time in your life. You know, we often speak about, you know, when you reach retirement age is the time where you can really go in because you are renounced of these worldly, you know, expectations. But that's true for some people. But for some people, they can go in and out. Maybe they have years of dedicated practice where they are in and not out in the world, and then they go back out into the world. It's transient, this experience.
This month in Sadhana Sangha, we've been using Soham Haṃsa pranayama in our practice. And those who have been doing this practice now have this little bit deeper way of meaning is when we use both of them together, we're going in the door and out the door.
Is that good?
Simultaneously. We sit in the liminal space. We let ourselves be in both.
We're in the elevator going up and down.
We let ourselves be in both worlds, right? And I think that's one thing that we can all take away from yoga, whether we're a renunciate, a monk, or we live in the world, is that we can be both.
Yes.
We can hold the tension.
Yes.
We can be in union between that immersive, non-dual, I am the void, and I move through the world with grace, and things roll off my back.
It's true.
That's the path, right? That's the path. All right. You're going to do a little Ayurveda touch on because this is one of my favorite topics. What does Haṃsa have to do with farts?
That's a great question. I think that Haṃsa, you know, this idea of viveka and this idea of discernment is this powerful teaching in Ayurveda of being in the body and using the body and treating the body as the wisest tool that you have. Whenever I start teaching Ayurveda to anyone in the teacher trainings or in courses, I always start with this idea of Sam Yoga and V-Yoga, and I think we've spoken about it on the podcast before, but this idea of, you know, what are the things that you do that lead you towards yoga, the state and the state of health? What are the things you do that lead you away from that state? And then I allow some time for journaling, and then we just wrap it back around. And most of the time that kind of teaching that I share is you have the wisdom within your body. You already innately know what it is that you need more of and less of to bring yourself back to a state of health. And so that's one of the main teachings in Ayurveda is the body holds all of the wisdom. You don't need to seek it outwards. And so one of the greatest teachings in this field of Ayurveda is Prajna Parada. Prajna
Parada.
Parada.
Prajna Parada. One word. Prajna Parada.
Prajna Parada.
Sounds like a nice treat.
And this is crimes against wisdom. It's this idea that every kind of natural urge of the body should be expressed in, appropriate
What's the natural urge of the body?
qualities. I was getting there. But things like crying, laughing, sneezing, farting, coughing, what else? Sweating.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have a list. That's
Natural
just
urges.
That's off the top of the noggin.
Pragnaparada. Okay.
Yeah. So it's this idea that there's natural urges of the body, and we're so often taught, especially in this modern world and school classrooms, hold your pee in. You can only go to the toilet when I say. Don't fart. It's disrespectful. What is even wrong with farting? Disrespectful? What's the idea? It's gross.
I don't know. Yeah, it smells.
Don't cry, you're okay, don't cry, or don't laugh when it's not appropriate to laugh. There's all these ideas that, we should hold in these natural urges, but Ayurveda actually says that if we hold in these natural urges, it's a crime against wisdom. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And this is what creates disease within the body and the mind. This is one of the root causes of disease within the body and the mind, and so much so that we even relate this idea of especially for women, holding in pee, or even in menstruation, plugging the vagina with tampons or menstrual discs or anything like that, where not letting the natural flow of the body come out. And that's why there's such a resurgence or surgence of fertility issues and issues with the female reproductive system. It's fascinating, but it's very unfortunate. So there's this teaching that the body holds so much wisdom, and we should just listen and be so devoted to the body and what it needs in every moment.
Okay. And so by listening to the body, we are discerning. We are using the Haṃsa.
But where it gets interesting is this idea that like attracts like and the opposite brings balance. If we are in a state of balance, great. If we're in a state of imbalance, most likely the body is going to crave things and experiences that lead it more towards imbalance. So this is where viveka comes in. This is where the swan Haṃsa comes in. There has to be discernment to know what is a natural urge of the body, or what is natural intuitive wisdom of the body, and what is just imbalance speaking.
Okay. Cool. So Ayurveda, before you take any medicine, you have to learn to listen.
You just have to learn to listen.
And discern what that cue means.
Yes.
It's like learning a new language.
It
language
really,
of feeling your feelings.
Language of feeling your feelings. It really is. And it's one of the most powerful things that you can do. If you can't listen, no amount of herbs, no amount of appointments with specialists, no amount of drugs will ever help you.
Okay. So how do people get through this? What are our practical takeaways? How do we use this in practice?
Let me tell you from an Ayurvedic perspective first, maybe,
and
then
let's
we
do
can do Ayurveda yoga. So I think one of the best ways that we can do this is listening to the burp. Listening to the burp is one of the core teachings of Ayurveda and something that we love to share. It's all about portion controlling, really, but from an intuitive perspective. And so it's this idea that when you eat your food, first of all, it should only be about 2 handfuls, your 2 handfuls, not your partner's 2 handfuls or your dad's 2 handfuls, your 2 handfuls.
Okay. Big bowl.
And that's how much food you can stomach. And if you think about your stomach, it's really small. It's probably 2 fists maximum, maybe 1.5 fists.
Depends how big you are.
Depends how big you are, but your fist will be big if you're big.
Yeah.
And so this idea is that you're eating until the first burp. And the idea is that when your body is at about 70 to 80% capacity, your body will naturally belch. And it doesn't have to be a loud, ogre style Shrek burp. It can be just a simple passing of air from your esophagus into your mouth. It's very, very subtle. If you're not paying attention, you might not even hear that. And I hear that so much is I don't burp when I eat. And I say, try again, I bet you do. You're just not listening. So you listen for that first burp. And then that's your body saying, hey, I'm at about 80% capacity right now. I'm good. I need a little bit of space in my stomach to be able to digest this food properly. But what happens is if we eat past that burp, we say if you eat to the second burp, you're eating for pleasure. If you eat to the third burp, you're eating for pain. And that's when we overeat, and then we can't actually properly digest and extract the nutrients out of our food. So that's one of the main ways that
then you might get some symptoms
to our body. Yeah, and you'll get some digestive symptoms. So listening to the first burp when you're eating, putting your food down and stopping, listening to your body.
So before you sit down to eat, maybe you take a moment to listen to the sound of breath. So Haṃsa. Could be a really nice way to just
This is
pause,
beautiful.
reflect, bring in some presence, bring in that recognition that you are fueling the body for frictionless movement through the world, and then eat your food with that discernment in mind. Like you called the discernment in
Yes.
by remembering that mantra before you eat.
Yeah. And then you eat and listen to your body. It's beautiful. A beautiful practice.
Really beautiful. And that goes for any kind of practice. Like you can use Soham or Haṃsa or Soham Haṃsa in your yoga practice as a meditation.
Yeah.
In the Sadhana Sangha, we're exploring it at the moment as a pranayama technique with some kriya involved in it. So it's a mantra that you can bring in. You can repeat it in your mind whilst you're doing asanas. You can sit down and listen for it whilst you're just breathing effortlessly. And over time, that awareness will grow for you until there is a recognition that is existing, not something that you're creating.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's such a good point to touch on before we wrap up. But this idea of mantra, and we'll explore that, I guess, in the coming weeks as well, and in the next month of Sadhana Sangha. But mantra is, yes, words, but it's an experience. But we use the words first and they lead us to the experience, the vibration, the embodied awareness of the mantra. And so it doesn't really matter where you use it, and if you feel it or understand it, it really doesn't matter at the start. If you just feel like you struggle with negative self-looping thoughts, or you kind of spiral at work or go down rabbit holes or something like that, a mantra is really powerful. I know you used that right at the start of your journey as well. Whenever you would have certain thoughts, you would come back to a mantra.
Cancel them out.
And that's all it's doing. And it's like, if you don't even understand the power of the mantra, it doesn't matter, because you're starting to repeat that within yourself and it's leading you to the experience of it. And the more you anchor yourself in a mantra like Soham Haṃsa, the more you're pulled into the experience of it, the more you'll start to understand, what does it really mean? How does it really feel? But yeah, don't worry too much about it. It can just be one of those tools that helps you refocus the mind.
Yeah. And then in life, reminds you to just be discerning, to just be present and choose what nourishes you, and releasing what doesn't.
Absolutely. Love it.
And then you become the Haṃsa.
Yes.
You become the swan.
Yes.
Gracefully
Celestial
flowing
swan.
through life.
Water is unaffecting you and you only drink milk.
And you're beautiful.
And you're
You have a long neck.
Brahma rides on your back. God is directing you through life.
Exactly. That's a beautiful way to end.
That is a beautiful
I love
way to
that.
end.
Let the Haṃsa guide you through life. If you are a passionate yoga practitioner or teacher,
Robot, Aaron.
please come and train with us. Come and join us. We're going to Sri Lanka later this year. We are going to India early next year, and we have a whole lot going on. I have a whole bunch of online trainings. You can study yin yoga with us. You can study hatha yoga with us. Paige has some Ayurvedic workshops, online cooking workshops, all this kind of stuff. You can find all of that in the show notes. So please do us a favor, share this episode with someone that you think will appreciate it, and then go over to our website and click some of the buttons, see if there's something that you can find your yoga within.
Yeah, and I think that's so good. Like, especially Sadhana Sangha, if you do really enjoy these podcasts weekly, jump onto the online platform. It's 22 Australian dollars a month.
Dive.
Huh?
Jump, dive. Run. Sprint.
But what's so good about it is it's so cohesive with the podcast. We're exploring literally the same concept. So if you're like, shit, yeah, I really loved this month of content.
I don't want to just wait until Monday to listen to the podcast. I want to listen to the podcast every day of the week.
Exactly. You can go on and practice these concepts and actually get an embodied experience.
Listen to me talk about the Yoga Sutra for an hour.
We can talk about Yoga Sutra. We can talk about technique breakdowns and everything like that. So if you're keen, jump on the online platform. We'd love to have you there. And then one of the bonuses of the online platform is a live Q&A with us every month.
You can ask us questions.
Jump online and it's just a free-for-all for a whole hour. Ask us whatever you want.
Yeah. And It really supports us.
Yeah.
Because we, as you can see, have this little studio and there is just two of us and Lena who run this place. And we rely on your support. So please support us. Please support yourself. Do your yoga for the love of God. Hari Om.
Hari Om.